Hi guys, I wanted to jump on here and share some stuff with you. So I know that we just entered a new year and something that I like to do, I wanted to do it before the new year, but I ended up getting sick and having food poisoning and all this fun stuff. So I didn't get a chance to. Um, but I was listening actually to a training from Dean Graziosi, who's absolutely amazing. And he just talks a lot about how, we have to be the observer of our thoughts and we have to know where we start, to know where we're going. And I think that is just really important. And something that I really value in my life is figuring out where I am right now, how I want to move forward. And I think a really great time to do that is the new year. And I think it's important to every single day remind yourself and sell yourself on your goals and write down your goals, which is something that I'm really working to be better at. But yeah, I think it's just, he gives you some really great journaling questions to answer and to kind of figure out where you are, where you're going, and just get really clear about all that. And so I wanted to share some of the questions with you. So the first one was, who do you want to become in this next decade? So I did next year and next decade. And it's really just, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? We underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years and we overestimate what we can accomplish in one. So just getting really clear about, who do I want to become this year? What do I want to focus on? And then through this next 10 years, because we just entered a new decade, which is absolutely incredible. Who do I want to be? For me, a lot of it is being more consistent with setting boundaries, is staying off social media and not wasting time, not procrastinating, and not letting toxic people control my days. So that's something that's huge for me. The next question was, who do you want, or where do you want to be in 10 years, and how will it feel to be there? So, imagine it's 10 years from now. Who are you? What are you doing? What are the things you're doing? Um, you know, who did you become, as if you're already there, and then how does it feel? It's so important to attach emotions to things because it's what really anchors it into you. So yeah, are you going to feel happy? Are you going to feel more secure if you hit these goals? What will happen in your life, and how will it make you feel? um Another question is, what is the number one story holding you back from 2019? And I love this because we all have these stories that we tell, and I think life teaches us lessons, and then it's important to take the good and then to throw away the rest. So when you fail, not being like, oh well, I failed, so it's never going to happen, but you know what can I learn from this failure to move forward from it? um I think for me a big story was just not being good enough. Not, who am I to do this? Who am I to um even help people and teach them what I've learned in my self-growth journey. So yeah, what's the number one story that you were telling yourself in 2019? And remember, it's just a story. And if you're aware of that story, you can rewrite it into something more positive, and that's going to actually move you forward. Um, and so then the next question is, where should your focus be in 2020 to become the best version of yourself and hit your goals? So like for me, my number one focus should be on myself. I tend to outward focus to avoid, fixing people and helping other people, and getting too many animals instead of actually just focusing on me. So for me, my number one focus is 2020 is myself. So what's your focus? The next question is, what do you need to stop doing in 2020 to move forward? We all have things that we do that we do not need to be doing. So like I wrote down negatively self-soothing. I tend to avoid my feelings, so I just don't have to deal with them. But it holds you back. It keeps you stuck when you avoid. So what do you need to stop doing in 2020 to move yourself forward? That's a super huge list, super important. Um, the next question is, what is the biggest obstacle you will need to overcome in 2020 that you didn't overcome in 2019? So like for me, self-discipline. I got better, but I'm still not the greatest with self-discipline in my world. So for you, what do you need to overcome that you didn't in 2019? What do you need to overcome in 2020 to move yourself forward? The next question is, what didn't go well in 2019, right? So where did I fail? Where did I fall short? And then what went well? What was good? What did I overcome? What did you do well? I think it's important to know what held us back and what we did good, and so we can kind of adjust from there. Where are you now? Right? So where are you now? It's like if you're going to take a plane trip, you got to know where you're at. The airline's going to ask, where are you starting? Where are you going? So write down, where are you right now? Who are you right now? What are the things you're doing in terms of what's your money look like? What's your time look like? What's your spiritual health, your mental health look like? What's your relationships look like right now? And then where do you want them to be? So at the end of the year, at the end of the decade, where do you want to be in your life? What do you want to be doing with your time? What do you want your money situation to look like? What do you want your relationships to look like? And knowing where you're starting, so you know where you're going. It takes discipline, and I think knowing where you're at, but then not prolonging your happiness. Be excited about where you are right now. You're only going to be here for a little bit. You're only going to be here for a season, and then be pumped about where you get to go, but know where you're going and where you want to go, because you're always going to miss a moving target. So that was huge. And then how will you feel when you're there? Again, attach an emotion to it. How will you feel when you achieve these goals? How good will it feel to become that person, to hit those goals? And how will it feel if you don't hit them? How will it feel if another year passes and you look back and you say, well, I wanted to do more yoga and I didn't. I wanted to be more self-disciplined and I wasn't. How will that feel? I think that it allows us to be motivated either by the dream or by the nightmare. So I'm more motivated by the nightmare. I don't want to be stuck in my life, but some people are more motivated by the dream. But either way, asking those questions helps identify that. And then this is from Tony Robbins. So it's add a power phrase to your goals. So like Dean Graziosi was going through a really hard time in his life at one point, and he said, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. And that was kind of his power phrase. So like in 2020 is the year I what? And say that to yourself every single day. Write it down. Be super, super into it, and remind yourself constantly, what is your power phrase? In 2020, this is the year that I get totally debt free. 2020 is the year that I take my power back. 2020 is the year I go boldly after my goals. What is it? What's your power phrase? And then I like this one too. So what can you commit to now, like today, to have your goals become a reality? It takes these little steps every single day. And Mel Robbins even talks about building blocks, that we don't have to just be there. I think we think about what we want and don't know how to get there always. So it gets really overwhelming and they're like, well, how am I going to make that happen? How am I going to achieve these goals? But not thinking so much about the how, thinking what can I do? What can I start today? What little thing can I do today, this minute, that is going to move me forward? What can I stop doing right now that is going to move me forward? And I just think that that's huge. You have to just take the steps, but it starts with a lot of self-reflection. And I think now is a really, really good time to do that. And like I said, know where you are, know where you're going, and have a really clear picture of what you want this year and this next decade to look at. And then every single day reminding yourself of that and going boldly after it. So I don't know if that helps at all. I know this is kind of long, but it was just something that I did, and it was really, really powerful and really got me thinking. Eckhart Tolle said, be the observer of your thoughts. So we have to be obsessive about how we're thinking, and not just being positive, because I don't think it's enough to just be positive, but to actually identify what the thought is, identify the emotion attached, and then figure out how to move through that. So yeah, I don't know. That was just something that helped me, and I hope it helps you as well. And I will talk to you very soon.